Hello, everyone. This is the Axle Shifter here, and welcome back to the next episode of Multiverse Wars, Episode 7. And in this episode of Multiverse Wars, this is going to be a battle between the two pink ultra stars of cartoons. That being Pops from Regular Show, the chosen one who unfortunately died, and Patrick Star from the classic show SpongeBob SquarePants. These two legends will end up fighting each other, and in the end, we're going to be seeing who would come up on top and who would eventually lose. So without further ado, let's start this one. Pops is one of the main characters of the widely known comedy and kind of action show, Regular Show, the show that is anything but regular. Pops was one of the main characters on there before he died, sadly. He is normally portrayed as a jolly good man who is kind and polite to everyone, and appears to be always in a jolly mood. But however, Pops does get some development near the end of the series, but now let's talk about his powers and abilities. Now, don't judge Pops by his appearance. He is one powerful character. He is by far one of the most powerful characters in the show, as documented by him being the chosen one and destined to beat his brother, Anti-Pops. Anti-Pops is an evil version of himself. So, essentially, in the beginning of the show, Pops starts out as just this generic happy man, but then eventually he trains to become so powerful that he eventually beats Anti-Pops by not just completely killing him right then and there, but eventually killing him with kindness and throwing him to the sun, where they die together. But as for his powers and abilities, Pops has done many crazy things throughout all of Regular Show. He has created poetry through reality warping and has the power to manipulate poetry and use it as a weapon for his advantage. It is also confirmed during the Regular Show series finale that every 14 billion years, Pops and his brother Anti-Pops, or Mouse Cranus by his real name, would eventually fight each other, and every time the battle would end, they would end it off by creating a punch so powerful that it reset the entire universe. So it shows that Pops' attack potency is really strong. It also goes to show that Anti-Pops' attack potency is really strong. So they're both equally matched, considering that both of them did create the punch after all. But still, half of the credit does go to Pops as well. So it very clearly shows that Pops' attack potency is incredibly strong. Pops also should be faster than the baby ducks. And the baby ducks have been shown to be very strong and powerful, as they're strong enough to create this giant duck humanoid form. And his most powerful ability is the step off move. And this move is pretty much a simple arm hook, you can say, I guess. A simple chop off. But as for his weaknesses, Pops can be still a childlike character, as shown by his personality throughout the show. It is also shown that pretty much every time that Benson gets mad, he pretty much overblows and creates this giant explosion, which Pops did not really help to create, but in that one episode, yeah, he still tries to make Benson stop yelling Mordecai Ribby, which of course doesn't exactly work very well, and Benson almost ended up destroying the entirety of the park. But it wasn't really Pops' fault. He was more really trying to stop the fighting with Mordecai Ribby and Benson. But yeah, now let's move on to Patrick. Patrick Star is the main character, one of the main characters of SpongeBob SquarePants. He is the best friend of SpongeBob himself, and just like SpongeBob, he has been throughout many adventures throughout the show. He's also gone through plenty of character changes to turn into a complete asshole, but then eventually mellowed down. So yeah, now let's talk about his abilities and powers. Now, just like Pops, don't be confused with Patrick because of his looks. He is also extremely powerful. He has consistently shown that starfishes can regenerate throughout the world. So obviously this can go to Patrick. Once Patrick takes a significant amount of damage, he can very easily regenerate that. He is also shown to have different types of immortality. He can survive getting blown up, beaten up, and other forms of other various attacks. He also survived attacks from Doodlebob, and Doodlebob is also known for being pretty strong. Also, Patrick can pretty much go extremely fucking fast. And how fast? Well, he could very easily scale off and keep up with Squidward in terms of speed. And in the episode SB129, it is shown that Squidward ran basically across the entire void, the entire white void, which was essentially an entire universe on its own. Now, how fast was this? Well, I'll just let Cartoon Fight Club explain.
Putting this into a calculation, we calculate it to be 2 quintillion, 934 quadrillion, 907 trillion, 903 billion, 503,095,000 times the speed of light.
Yeah, Patrick is shown to be extremely fast. And of course, Patrick could easily scale off this speed feat since he has been shown to be keeping up with Squidward plenty of times throughout the SpongeBob series. But as for his weaknesses, however, Patrick is still a character that could be defeated eventually. Now, he does have types of immortality, and he also has his Toot Force on his side, which allows him to be almost invincible, but still, that's almost invincible, not completely. He still only gets close to that, but yeah. And now let's discuss the winner of this battle, and why ultimately in the end, I would believe that Patrick Star would eventually be able to come up on top. Now don't get me wrong, Pops is extremely powerful and fast in his own right. However, he is nowhere near the absolute speed blitzing, destroying, structuring flyer speed that Patrick holds, thanks to him scaling off of Squidward. Also, we can't forget the fact that Patrick also has the magical page on his side, which means that he can very easily write himself a plot with him as the victor. Now, this obviously doesn't mean that he could win every battle he faces using this page, because that would be the no limits fallacy, of course, and the page clearly does have its limits. But in the end, he can very easily write himself a plot with basically Pops having no powers at all, and basically him being a normal guy, and ultimately Patrick ended up winning. And he could very easily use his speed feed to speed blitz Pops. So that's why I would think Patrick would win. So see you later.